All right, now to a significant event in Rome. Various representatives, including the Bishop of Shanghai, attended a conference marking the 100th anniversary of a historic council in China. In a video message to the conference, the Holy Father noted that in the past century, Catholics in China have endured times of patience and trial, and he encouraged them to testify to their faith through works of mercy and charity while promoting the harmony of social coexistence. Joining us now from Rome is Frank Rocca, Senior Vatican Analyst at EWTN News. Frank, good to be with you today. So what was the importance of this event?
Well, at one level, this was an academic conference at a pontifical university about a historical event, which was in 1924, this first Council of China that was held in Shanghai, which was important. But on another level, this was also about current events, because it was about the Vatican, the Holy See's relationship with China today, which is a very delicate and complex one, because the Chinese Catholics, about 10 million of them, are divided between an official church that's run by the government, with which the Holy See has increasingly close relations, and a so-called underground church of Chinese Catholics who reject government control. So that's a very complex situation. And in this case, the Holy See and I think the official church were showing that their ties are improving, that the Holy See is committed to that relationship despite a number of complications.
Frank, as you know, this conference comes almost 6 years after an agreement between the Vatican and China on the appointment of bishops in that country. What more can you tell us about that for those who may not know about it?
Well, the Vatican agreed with China to give each side a say in choosing bishops and not to appoint any bishops who weren't acceptable to both sides. So on the one hand, that means that the Vatican has avoided the risk of a schism where the Chinese continue to name their own bishops, which they had been doing over the past decades. On the other hand, it means that no bishop that's unacceptable to the Communist Party will be named. There have been relatively few appointments. Only about 9. There are only 9 bishops have been named since the agreement was made, and there are about 40 dioceses that don't have any bishops. So in that sense, it's frustrating for the Vatican. They still think it's better than nothing. They say that at least the Chinese agree in principle that the Pope makes these appointments, and that, in a sense, is recognizing his primacy. So they consider that a big success. But they're a long way from having anything like formal diplomatic relations, which is another goal for them.
And Frank, I also understand that the Bishop of Shanghai was at the conference. How significant is that?
Well, it was important in at least a couple of ways. He's the head of the Chinese Bishops' Conference, which, by the way, is a government-controlled body that is not recognized by the Vatican. But the fact that the Chinese allowed him to come was not something that the organizers took for granted. And so that's a sign from the Chinese side that they're cooperating. On the other hand, it gave him a very prestigious platform, Vatican platform. He was speaking alongside very high Vatican officials, the Cardinal Secretary of State and the Cardinal who has the missionary office, and he presented a vision or a version of the official churches in China that is in harmony with Catholic teaching, with the Vatican, with the Catholic tradition. He de-emphasized the side of it that is officially dedicated to supporting Xi Jinping's socialist ideology and the ideology of the Communist Party. So he played that down in a kind of diplomatic move, and no one at the Vatican contested that. So it was another step in diplomacy between the Holy See and the official church in China.
Well, Frank, thank you so much for your time today. We really appreciate it. Frank Rocca, Senior Vatican Analyst at EWTN News. Thank you again.
Thank you, Tracy.